Hey guys, welcome back to the rust room. Today we are changing the steering column bearing on the TVR. Now this is obviously specific to a TVR S series. I think some of the later Wedges and possibly a Chimera, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm just going to run through some of the things you need to do to change it basically. So basically what the bearing is it sits where that hole is, and then it runs through from the steering column and then connects to the steering rack, which obviously goes down to there. So it's basically holding the steering column in the right place and acting as a bearing. So when it spins around, obviously when you're turning. And now over time, it deteriorates and the bearing is old. I'm assuming this is probably the original one. So this is the one that I've taken out, made of plastic. You can even see the race in there. Horribly notchy and loads of play in it. There was actually an advisory on the MOT, so something I need to do anyway. And I've got this nice, I'm assuming billet aluminium with a press bearing, and then the plastic Ford insert which fits inside. But I'll show you more of that in a second. So as you can see, I've already removed the steering column. That's pretty straightforward. You have to undo the bolt holding it on to the triangle section, as I just showed you under there. And then there's two 17s that go into that threaded sort of circle bit there. I just undid the whole stalks because it was only 4 bolts, and I don't trust the TVR connectors will work again if I plug them back in again. Hashtag TVR life. So yeah, you just remove the column, which is pretty straightforward. Obviously make sure you know where the steering wheel's pointed. Make a note of that, or mental note. And then the column just slides out of that bearing. Pretty straightforward. So, like I was saying, here is the old one. This bit was inside the car, and then there was a plate on the outside, and then it was literally just nut and bolted through. Like I said, I'm assuming this is probably the original TVR one, or Ford, or whatever it is. Just made of plastic. Not very nice. As you can hear, it's completely shot. It did sound horrible when you turned the wheel as well. It was like, so although it's turned freely, but like I say, like you can see, there's so much play in that. Yeah, just past its time basically. So that's the old one. The new one, much nicer setup. So I'm assuming it's billet aluminium. The insert goes in. That is a bearing which has been pressed in there. And literally silent, smooth, lovely, happy days. So the only thing I've done to this is, as you can see, I've threaded out these holes. So originally these are M5s. I've threaded out these to M6 just because then I can just bolt it in from one side instead of using nut and bolts. I did run into an issue as soon as I tapped these out. Your normal hex head won't fit because it's too close to this piece here, so I had to get these thin ones. They're actually off a mountain bike part, so somewhere like a bike shop will probably have them, and they fit in, and then the collar of the head is not too close, so you can actually put it in and do it up. So there's that. Any query I've seen from online is which way round they go. I'm going to mount this, so this will be on the inside, that will be on the outside as per the original. And this triangle bush thing, which fits on the column because it's a triangle shape down there, some people have reported them that they're coming through the bottom, so as it sits in the car like that. But to me that doesn't make sense, because then if it's at an angle like that, it's just going to fall out. So I'm going to put it in from the top, and then there's like a small metal piece which secures it, which is on the steering column, so I'll show you that when it's all put in. But yeah, I'm going to put it through like that and then just bolt it in from the sort of outside in, and try and use this ring if the bolt holes line up, which I would hope they would, and go from there. So yeah, all the holes line up as I would have thought. So the only other thing I've got to do is if I'm using M6 in this now, I've got to drill these out to, I'm going to just go 6.5 to give me a bit of wiggle room. And then give it a clean up and bolt it on. So that's it bolted up. Fits nice, the ring fits over there, lovely. I did have to open up the holes a little bit just because there are a couple of mil off here and there, and it's got to be nice and straight going into the aluminium, didn't want to cross thread it. But yeah, that's bolted up. Now I can put the bush insert in from the inside and put the column back in. So that's it sitting in from the other side. You can see I've just put the triangle little bush in there, and now I can put the column back in. This is the small metal thing I was on about. I'm not really sure what its purpose is, but it doesn't really do much because it just slides around everywhere. But admittedly mine's a bit damaged, but and I've heard of people not even using them, so but I'll leave it on there anyway, and I guess it just pushes up against that bush, make sure it doesn't slide back up. So yeah, put it in there. Right, so I've put the bush on the end of the column now because it's a much tighter fit. Last time I could just literally slide it out with like no effort. So I've put it on the end of here first, and now I'm going to insert the steering column with the bush on into the bearing. Yeah, that's in there. Now I can bolt it up. There it is bolted up. Obviously I don't have to stress, make sure that's tight, because if that comes off you're in big trouble. So that's it bolted up. Just give it a spin round and make sure it looks alright. There you have it, that's the steering column all installed again. So nice little rundown on how to fit it all. So the TVR seems to be running alright now. Maybe in the next video we'll get some driving shots of it and stuff. But I'm just doing a few things to smarten it up now. I have got a matching front wheel here, the tyres being fitted probably as we speak. Or as I speak, maybe not in the future when this video is on. And I'm just going to do the roof because it's seen better days. As you can see, it is very much grey rather than black. I've put a tiny bit on there which seems to bring it back sort of a bit more black. So I've got this Renovo stuff. I got it off my dad, he's used it loads of times. So I've just masked up around the edge. Gonna use a lint roller to get any bits and pieces stuck on the top, and then give it a coat, let it dry, and then do another coat later on in the day. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was just a quick sort of how-to guide on how to fit this steering column bearing. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like and subscribe, and check out all the other videos on the TVR if you are interested, or you have your own and want to see how I did it. Oh, if you have any questions, just drop a comment below. I'm more than happy to reply to them. And see you on the next one. Cheers. Here. Get it out of the bag.